Welcome to Spellbound Wagers on a Thursday night. Great day in sports today we've had and we're glad to have you with us, on our new YouTube channel. And we're going to be doing this on a regular basis and with some very unique and very different perspectives on the world of sports and horse racing. And I want to welcome in, I'm Jesse James. I'm here with my colleague, Wild Bill Money. And Wild Bill, how are you today?
Thanks, Jesse. I'm doing well. I'm just really excited to explain to everyone what we're doing and why we're doing it. Do you want me to start with the horses? Because first of all, I wanted to say that I'm a horse handicapper. Jim does all the other sports. We spend extensive hours researching all the categories, and we pick specific races and games. We don't pick them all, but we really try to find the best value for you guys for our research. That's pretty much the start of what we're doing.
Well said. And we're, with our team, we've done this for decades, and what we strive for is consistently winning profits. And that's what we strive for. And we've proven over years with our formulas and so forth. And we spent a lot of time doing the research and information. We want to share it with you. And one thing I did want to mention is we have a promotion on our website, which is spellboundwagers.com. And this Saturday, November 13th, we have on the college football slate, as we're in week 11, we have two, which is very rare for us to have two 5-unit plays on Saturday. And what we are welcoming our audience to do, if you sign up on our website, and you can email Andrea, Andrea at spellboundwagers.com as a first-time subscriber, and you get $25 free, no obligation, of Spellbound loot to spend toward any package you want. And also you'll receive those 2 5-star plays for Saturday college football.
What a great value. That I think that it's awesome, so people can get involved and see what we have to offer. It's a perfect way, and for them to win over the long period of time. They want to win over the whole year. They don't want to just win one bet. So this is a great introduction.
Right, and get to know us a little bit and our perspective on some things. And before I turn it over to Wild Bill on some horses for Del Mar tomorrow, I know he's worked diligently on that form for tomorrow, as he usually does, coming off Breeders' Cup weekend. Did you want to comment on that? It was an exciting weekend, to say the least, huh?
Very, very exciting. A lot of great handicappers got stumped on some races, and I can see why. There's 2 Japanese horses that won Breeders' Cup races on Saturday, and that was just phenomenal. And the pick 6 got hit for $500,000. I would assume that was one of the owners or trainers or a group of Japanese bettors, because 2 horses from Japan winning 2 different Breeders' Cup races on a Saturday. I've never seen that. I've been watching Breeders' Cups for 30 years, and I've never seen that. Do you remember seeing that? Japan?
Never. I can't remember I've ever seen a Japanese horse win a Breeders' Cup race.
So Maybe. It was a little difficult. I was around some really high-powered people that did very well. What the funny thing was I had an exacta with I can't remember the horse's names just off the top of my head, but it was a sprint race, and there was an 11 horse, the 9 horse, the 9 horse, the 5 horse, and then the 2 horse. And I thought the 2 horse at 1-2 odds would at least get second. And so I played it trying to be a smart guy with the 11-1 and the 4-1 over the 1-2 favorite, and the 1-2 favorite over the other 2. And I thought I was really being the smart guy, and had the exacta. And I told this guy next to me who I liked. And he came back high-fiving me after the race saying, thanks so much. He won $2,500 because he hit the exacta. Well, he boxed all three horses. I only, and he high-fived me thinking that I won too.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so it was really interesting, as I'm the handicapper that got the horses, but I didn't put the time of effort in thinking that, okay, this is Breeders' Cup. You can just box them because the pools are so big. And later I thought, and I go, wow, what a mistake. You know, this guy next to me wins $2,500 and I end up losing the exacta that I picked the horses. But I did hit a nice exacta on the last race at Friday, where it really helped me. And it was a very controversial race. These two Charles Appleby horses from I think they were from Ireland, probably from Ireland. And Charles Appleby is such a good trainer. And I saw some race replays and really thought that it was those two would be the top two choices. And then I took these other two horses that were more Southern Cal based and East Coast based. And I had them in my second tier of exacta. But as soon as I knew, I thought both horses scratched. So I bet the exacta and it paid huge because I had like a 11-1 and an 8-1. And I had saved my day and it made me money. But everyone was so upset with that race because one of the Applebys ran, but without being in the parimutuel betting scene. And Charles Appleby won the race with the horse number 1, which most people thought wasn't even running.
Yeah.
And everyone was just, it was so controversial.
Boy, the veterinarians, they really had they didn't handle that very well, or somebody didn't handle that very well with the assistant starters. And
the communication was off and there was no time left.
Yeah.
So that's what happened.
Last race of the day, everybody's trying to come out with a winner. And
it cost one of my good handicapping friends $6,000.
Oh, my goodness. And one thing I did want to comment on thoroughbred racing, and to that, obviously you've spent years doing this and I have as well. I mean, not to your extent, but it's a very profitable entity and the information is really limited unless you're willing to put the hours and hours worth of work in it. And could you comment on the profitability opportunity in horse racing?
Yes. A lot of people don't have $1,000 or $500 to bet every football game, and they're paying the juice if they lose, and they just can't put up that much money to make the money they want to make. Well, horse racing allows you to do that. And if you're making smart bets over a period of time and you're picking your spots, you can win that type of money in one day with putting $50 down, up to $100 down. You could do it for $30. Depends on what you're betting. But to make your selections and picks properly and know how to handicap, not just getting the winners of the race or who you think is going to run second or anything like that. Once you get that, which is great, you still have 50% left of how to bet it, how much to bet, which races you actually want to bet, and the style of the type of bet you want to bet. I mean, that's I just explained that I messed up as a professional handicapper at the Breeders' Cup, and a guy next to me that I gave the tips to made more than me in that race because I messed up in that 50%, figuring out how to bet it.
So constructing the wager is a critical part of the equation.
Yeah, there's experts out there that use other people's picks and are brilliant at constructing wagers. Well, I'm offering both.
Yeah,
so
and that's a very unique thing that we're going to give our audience, because we want our clients, like we do, to make money on a consistent basis at sports and horse racing, and so we really appreciate all of you joining us and glad you're here.
Yeah, we're so glad you're here, and We just
I
want to
wanted
make, we're betting, and I wanted to tell everyone that we bet our own bets. So Jim bets the bets you're buying, the bets you're buying from me, I'm wagering on them. So this is just an extension of what we already do. So we put a lot of care in this. And if you lose, we lose. If you win, we win.
No, exactly. And we don't just give out plays. I mean, we play our own plays.
Yeah.
And we work, diligently at this, and it's, just to hit a reasonable percentage. And nobody's going to win every bet. It's difficult. And you can't control it in football. You can't control fumbles. You can't control missing free throws in basketball and so forth. And horse racing, there's so many variables in a horse race that you'll learn from Wild Bill throughout our YouTube channel. But it's a very intriguing sport. And, being that, the one comment I wanted to add on to what you said, that, the horse racing, it's a parimutuel formula that the bettors are creating the odds, as opposed to the odds maker at the casino setting the odds on a football game. And certainly they're influenced by the amount of money bet, but there's where there's some huge opportunities in horse racing for profit if you're good.
Yeah, you can look at it many ways. And I picked horse racing. I used to bet football. I'll probably start up again picking Jesse James, picking your picks, because I'm so intrigued. And I see that you're 10-2 last week. I see all the profit that you're making, and I want to be involved with that as well. I have so much time invested in handicapping and betting my own horse racing that I just haven't had the time.
That's why our team is good, because we, focus on our specialties. And, but I wanted to mention, a couple things on the college football for this Saturday, which, obviously week 11, big week. And just to give you a little insight on a couple games that are on our short list, for lack of a better term, we're kind of hopeful of some line movements, because the line value on this college football is a huge deal. And the Minnesota Golden Gophers are going to Iowa this week, and they're playing the Iowa Hawkeyes, who obviously have been, the total on the game is ridiculously low. It's a typical Big Ten total, but the Hawkeyes, in our opinion, have been a little, borderline. And I think PJ Fleck, the coach of Minnesota, is going to have his team really ready to play this week. And they might be a really good underdog this week at Iowa. And the line's inched up to 4.5 as of earlier today, which is, it's worth consideration. Another game that we have a lean toward is Syracuse is at Louisville this week. And Syracuse has just been such a moneymaker for everybody this week. And they're 8-1 against the spread this year, and they've just so exceeded their expectations. And Louisville's probably been a little bit of a underachiever at this point, at least against the spread, and well-coached team. And I think a lot of times at the end of the college football season, which we're getting toward that point, that you see those odds makers really catch up with those lines. And with Louisville being a minimal favorite, only 3 points at home, I think that they're worth some consideration this week. The Louisville Cardinals against Syracuse. And the one other early game I wanted to mention was Arizona State going to play the Washington Huskies. And the Huskies have played really good football for them the last 2 weeks. And although one of those games was against Stanford, who is just not a good team at all this year. And they covered and won the game in a low-scoring battle. But Herm Edwards, I think this is a good prime spot for Arizona State up there, laying 5 on the road in Washington. So it's worth taking a good look at that game as well. And again, just to reiterate, we do have two, rarely do we have 5-unit plays, but we have two 5-unit plays this week. You can email Andrea at spellboundwagers.com and be a first-time subscriber, and you get $25 worth of Spellbound loot to spend toward any package and those two 5-star 5-unit plays. So, Bill, I think you did a lot of research on Del Mar for Friday, and what are your thoughts on Friday Del Mar?
Well, I picked out about 3 or 4 races that I feel like I'm going to bet some win and place money, probably more to win than place, using the place as sort of an insurance. I've got some exactas that I really want to play, and some in the same races that I'm playing the win bet. The one race that I wanted to give out, because every Friday we'd like to give a tip or a free complimentary wager. It's race 1. It's a first-time start. Actually, it's not a first-time starter. The horse ran on turf named Phenom, and it's the 5 horse. And I do like these 2 others underneath, Unbridled Mary and Pammy's Ready. And they're the 3 and 6 horse. So 5 over the 3-6. I'm also going to play the 3-6 over the 5 for just a little bit, another insurance type of bet. But I really like that. That's one of the bets. Now, the other picks that I have for the other races, that could be something you could use your credits for. You could use your $25 towards the rest of my picks. I can go into detail about the race, on why I like it. It's mostly on works. Unbridled Mary is a first-time starter, and Pammy's Ready's already ran in longer turf races. But I really do think that it's, there's more detail that we'll have on our website, that I'll put an explanation of why I like that exacta so much. That could be something that you guys could go to on spellboundwagers.com.
And then with our selections, and you make a good point there, that we along with the selections, we provide an analysis of those selections with the background of why. And no, that's really good. Is that race 1 at Del Mar, you said?
It's race 1 Friday at Del Mar.
Okay. Well, great. And then just to touch, going back to football for a second, and again, I wanted to mention that we do have those 5-star plays, but one other game that's a really interesting game this week is the Miami Hurricanes are playing at Florida State in Tallahassee, which, obviously there's certain rivalry to that game. And but the Hurricanes, they won by 3 last week. They played a solid game, but this quarterback they've got playing now, this Tyler Van Dyke, I mean, he was good last week. And I think that the Hurricanes, kind of like they did the prior year, and I know it was a COVID year, but they kind of got Manny Fernandez, he kind of gets that team playing better at the end of the year. And, they've really gained a lot of momentum. So I think that the Hurricanes are worth a good look at Florida State this week on Saturday. That's a 12:30 West Pacific time game, but it's worth a look. And again, email Andrea at spellboundwagers.com, and we'll set you up with your $25 Spellbound loot credit and the 2 5-star plays this week in college football. And Wild Bill, anything to close with?
I just wanted to say that good luck to everyone, and remember, it's the long haul, and it's picking your spots and your positions. And that's why we're here, because we want to help you with that. And I appreciate what you've done tonight, Jesse. And I was really excited about being here and excited for our future.
Well, we look forward to being with. We thank you all for joining us with your valuable time, and appreciate spending it with us. And come see us next time. Thank you.
Thank you.